At 7:46 a.m. local time on December 9, 2025, the bridge crew aboard the USS Higgins watched a new radar contact bloom across their screens. The return was clean, deliberate, and closing steadily from the west. No erratic movement, no ambiguity. Seconds later, the radio crackled to life. "U.S. warship, you are in Chinese waters. Leave immediately." The voice was calm, clipped, and unmistakably Mandarin accented. Out on deck, the sea was glassy and calm, the kind of quiet that makes tension feel louder. Just beyond the horizon sat Scarborough Shoal, a loose ring of coral and rocks barely breaking the surface. To Washington, this was international water. To Beijing, it was sovereign Chinese territory. And on this morning, both sides had come prepared to defend their version of the map. Minutes after the warning, Chinese warships slid into view on the USS Higgins' starboard side. Their hulls emerged from the haze, gray and angular, their wakes slicing sharp white lines through the blue water as they matched speed and course with the American destroyer. From Beijing's perspective, this was law enforcement at sea, monitoring, warning, and driving away a foreign intruder. From Washington's perspective, this was a freedom of navigation operation, a lawful transit intended to challenge what the United States considers excessive maritime claims. This was the first reported time in 6 years that a U.S. Navy destroyer had operated inside the waters surrounding Scarborough Shoal. Every maneuver, every radio transmission, and every course correction became another move in a silent contest where escalation was the one outcome neither side could afford. Scarborough Shoal is little more than scattered rocks and coral, but geography has turned it into one of the most contested locations in the South China Sea. Under international law, the shoal lies well within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone, roughly 120 nautical miles from Luzon. Yet China claims it as part of its sweeping 9-dash line, which covers most of the South China Sea. Since 2012, Chinese Coast Guard and naval vessels have maintained a near-constant presence here, blocking Filipino fishermen, enforcing exclusion zones, and building dense patrol patterns that rarely leave gaps. For the Philippines, Scarborough is both a national symbol and a vital food source. For China, it is a strategic forward position, ideal for monitoring shipping lanes and projecting naval power deeper into Southeast Asia. Every year, trillions of dollars in global trade pass through nearby waters. Control here is not symbolic. It is economic, military, and strategic. Within hours of the encounter, Beijing's version of events dominated state media. The USS Higgins, officials said, had illegally entered China's territorial waters near Huangyan-dao, China's name for Scarborough Shoal. The PLA Southern Theater Command stated that Chinese naval units had monitored, warned, and drove away the American destroyer to protect sovereignty and regional stability. That wording mattered. It was meant to reassure domestic audiences and warn foreign navies that China would actively enforce its claims. Washington's response came just as firmly. A U.S. Navy spokesperson confirmed the destroyer's presence, but rejected any claim of illegal activity or forced withdrawal. The transit, they said, was conducted in accordance with international law, including the right of innocent passage under UNCLOS. Two statements, two realities, neither side backing down. The USS Higgins, DDG-76, is an Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyer among the most capable surface combatants afloat. Displacing more than 9,000 tons, it carries the Aegis combat system, anchored by the SPY-1D phased array radar, capable of tracking hundreds of air and surface targets simultaneously. Its vertical launch system holds SM-2 air defense missiles, ESSM interceptors, and Tomahawk cruise missiles. Harpoon anti-ship missiles, close-in Gatling guns, and advanced electronic warfare systems complete the package. Facing it were likely vessels from the PLA Navy's Southern Theater Command, often Type 052D destroyers or Type 054A frigates, armed with long-range anti-ship missiles, modern air defense systems, and powerful sensors. This wasn't about firepower superiority, it was about presence. As the USS Higgins approached Scarborough Shoal, radar picked up the Chinese warships closing in. A calm but firm radio warning ordered the destroyer to leave. The silhouettes of the ships soon appeared over the horizon, matching the Higgins' course and speed. Repeated warnings came over the radio, but the American crew held steady, following freedom of navigation protocols. The vessels shadowed each other closely, maneuvering in parallel without escalating. After a tense period of close observation, the Chinese ships gradually pulled back, maintaining surveillance from a distance. No weapons were drawn, no collisions occurred, just a careful display of presence and restraint. Encounters like this are governed by doctrine as much as by technology. U.S. Navy crews are trained to remain predictable: steady speed, steady course, minimal radio chatter, and no visible preparations for combat. Chinese forces often apply pressure differently: high-speed approaches, repeated warnings, and close parallel maneuvering designed to test resolve. The objective isn't to fire the first shot, it's to force a narrative win. UNCLOS grants coastal states sovereignty within 12 nautical miles and resource rights within their EEZ. In 2016, an international tribunal ruled that Scarborough Shoal could not generate its own EEZ. China rejected the ruling entirely. The United States enforces what it considers customary international law through presence. This is not just a territorial dispute, it is a contest over rules. Despite strong claims, no imagery was released. We don't know how close the ships came. We don't know how many vessels were involved. We don't know if aircraft were overhead. That silence is strategic. Evidence is power. The incident occurred amid rising Indo-Pacific tensions, live fire drills, expanded U.S.-Philippine defense cooperation, and increasingly aggressive encounters at sea. Scarborough Shoal lies just 300 kilometers from Luzon, making it a sensitive pressure point for all involved. In this environment, even a single destroyer's transit becomes a test of credibility. For China, claiming it drove away a U.S. warship reinforces dominance. For the United States, denying any retreat preserves freedom of navigation worldwide. Neither side could afford a softer narrative. So was this a genuine standoff or a carefully managed display? Without hard evidence, the answer depends on perspective. But one truth remains: the South China Sea is one of the world's most dangerous chessboards. Do incidents like this make conflict more likely, or are they the cost of keeping strategic waters open? Share your thoughts below. If you found this breakdown valuable, support the military mind by liking, subscribing, and joining the fleet. Because out here, it's not about who blinks first, it's about who's still standing when the next move is made. Fair winds, following seas. See you in the next one.